Well, The Witcher Season 3 has started to happen, so I'm going to go through it episode by episode, even if they're doing a really weird release schedule. They drop 5 episodes at the end of June, and the last 3 episodes are coming at the end of July for some reason, and I can't say I was looking forward to it. What nice can I say about it? I mean, it's still better than The Witcher Blood Origin. It could be worse. I mean, Henry Cavill's still good and he's still in it, but they don't really let him do much. And not that much went wrong in the episode because not that much happened. But one part of the episode was so stupid it made my head hurt, so I'm just going to jump right to that part. Geralt the Witcher is on the run in his distinctive fantasy world after the events of last season, with his adopted daughter Ciri and his on-again, off-again love interest and witch Yennefer of Vengerberg. And, Yennefer of Vengerberg, Netflix, I'm just going to have to acknowledge that cosplayers do a better job of embodying the character than you did. I love that outfit. The continent is split between several major power players and all of them want Ciri. And that's how the episode starts. Stupidly, it annoyed me in under a minute from the start of the episode. There are a group of men looking for Ciri, and their leader, who looks like maybe an ethnically Iranian or Afghan man, is asking a local man for information on where Ciri is, in very flowery language that the local man doesn't understand. So he rephrases, or he tries to and doesn't.
Master Rience will recompense you handsomely for illumination as to their whereabouts. We'll pay if you've seen them.
I mean, what was that? Why is this man offering to pay the local man if he's seen them? So if he says yes, he has seen them, you pay him. What help is that to you? You aren't interested in if he's seen them. You're willing to pay for their whereabouts. So that was completely idiotic. And then it turns out Geralt was just out back anyway, and there's an early fight scene. But the worst part of the episode for me was when Geralt and crew were still being hunted, and they were staying with Geralt's dwarf friend.
A dwarf.
Yes, Michelle Yeoh, a dwarf. How many more times?
A dwarf.
Jesus. So they decide to go to a local festival against Geralt's advice because Ciri is bored. But it's okay because they're going to go in disguise. And I use the word disguise in the loosest possible sense of the word. Yennefer is wearing her ball gown with a tiny mask just covering her eyes like Robin from Batman. And she's famous. Very famous. A lot of people will recognise her. Ciri is wearing a dress and has a mask on a stick, so she's frequently waving it around and showing her whole face to everybody. Her face is on wanted posters. Every major power on the continent is looking for her, and Geralt is just wearing his normal clothes with his white hair on view and his Witcher medallion hanging out. I nearly had an aneurysm. People recognise Geralt in pretty much every pub he goes in. He's the White Wolf. He's infamous. This may be the least disguised it's possible for a group of 3 people to be. This series still has a really weird drive to be ethnically diverse, and it doesn't work. There seems to be this obsession that fantasy worlds should all look like current day Los Angeles, that all fantasy worlds now have to look cosmopolitan. This didn't exist for most of human history, and it also means that the setting now doesn't match the story. This cosmopolitanism is a feature of globalisation and easy world travel, appearing in a world setting that has neither of those things. The humans in the world are also largely xenophobic. They attack elves for having different ears, but we're expected to believe that they're all just fine with people of different skin colours. Nobody even seems to notice that. They all just refuse to breed with each other, because if they did, they all wouldn't have different skin colours for very long. It doesn't work because the people that exist in this world are simultaneously egalitarian while being xenophobic. They're closed off while being simultaneously open and progressive, and it doesn't work at all. This series has always been quite free with race swapping characters, and it's much the same in Season 3, to the extent that people coming over from the games probably won't even recognise who actors are supposed to be until the show expressly names them, because I was frequently lost. In this episode we get the character Philippa Eilhart back again, being played by the actress on the left. And that's the game version on the right there, set a bit later in the timeline it appears. I can only assume something particularly dramatic is going to happen to her at some point in the near future. Maybe she's going to fall into a vat of bleach. The show has race swap Yennefer, they race swap Triss, they race swap Fringilla Vigo, and the character Francesca seems to be being played by an Anglo-Jamaican actress that Netflix appear to have put in whiteface. Netflix, what are you doing? It's like you want to go out of business. You see, Hollywood pretends to be progressive, but has literally learned nothing since having John Wayne play Genghis Khan. All you've done is change which ethnic groups you're being racist against. Netflix, you won the lottery getting Henry Cavill to do this series in the first place, and you've completely blown it. So that's it for episode 1. Lots of montages of Geralt, Ciri and Yen on the run, and training, living in a group of different houses and handing out bags of gold to buy people's discretion, which would immediately make everybody suspicious. Then they go to the festival and fight a monster in a hedge maze that had been put on Ciri's trail. Then a big fight at the end when the wizard Reince comes for Ciri again, while Geralt and co are travelling with a dwarven caravan, and it was all a trap on Geralt's part. Geralt is helped by the dwarves who fight Reince and his men off, and then an army of elves also turn up, just at that moment, also wanting Ciri, and Geralt spares Reince for no reason I can think of at all when he had him at his mercy. He just breaks his arms and leaves him when he could have taken his head off, and Reince gets away and is healed by his secret master. And if you don't know who the secret master is supposed to be, I'll give you a clue. It's one of the many characters that Netflix race swapped. So now in episode 2, Geralt's got to leave Ciri's side again to go and find Reince. So yeah, it was far from perfect. Some things were wrong with it, it's kind of racist, and it's still a hell of a lot better than Witcher Blood Origin.
A dwarf.
Those look good. A big salty clam would sure go great with this heat.